Hi guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. In today's video, I'm sharing with you guys how I sewed this Princess that's Bustier gown. In my previous video, I will share with you guys how I drafted the pattern. If you haven't watched the video on how I drafted the pattern, I'm going to leave the link in my description box. Don't forget to check it out. So let's right into today's tutorial. So I folded my fabric into four because I'm using the same fabric for the lining. So the center front is going to be on fold side while the rest is going to be pieces. So I'm cutting two for the center front because it's on fold, and then the side is going to be four pieces including the back pattern. I also went ahead, I had half inches for the sewing allowance to all the pieces that have not had this allowance to when we are drafting the pattern. So I'm going to pull the back pieces aside because we are starting with our front pieces. So we are starting by removing the pin from the pattern and separate the pattern from the fabric before I start pinning the side to the center front. So I'm going to place my side front on top of the center front and make sure that the underbust of the center front and the back is the same before I start pinning in, like you see me doing so. And don't forget that the right side of the fabric for the center front and the side need to face each other before you start pinning the fabric together. So after I'm done with the first side, I'm also going to do the same thing to the other side. So I'll start pinning it from the underbust line first before I pin the rest. So guys, after I'm done pinning it, I'm going to take it to the machine to stitch it together. I'm also do the same thing to the lining. So guys, this is it after I'm done stitching it together. So I went ahead, I notched the underbust line and then ironed my stitches allowance opening. So I did the same thing to the lining. So guys, after I'm done with it, and this is what it's looking like. So the next thing to do now is to join the both sides of the front and the back together. So I'm going to take my back pieces and then remove the pattern from it. Start placing the side together. Make sure the right side of the front and the back is facing each other before I start pinning it. So I'm going to do the same thing to the lining. So after I'm done pinning it, I'm going to mark my stitches allowance, which is 1.5 inches on both sides. I'm also going to join the shoulder together and do the same thing to the lining. So guys, after I'm done joining the side together and the shoulder, this is what it's looking like. So this is the made fabric and then the lining. This is also what it's also look like. So guys, after we are done with that part, so the next thing to do now is to trim down the armhole because what we have here is too small. So I'm going to reshape the armhole by using 7.5 inches. This is for bust 36. It doesn't work for all sizes, so this is for bust 36. In my previous video, we calculate our armhole length by dividing your bust circumference by 6 plus 1.5 inches, which is 7.5 inches. Initially, I'm supposed to use 7 inches. So remaining half inches is going to be for the sewing allowance. So by the time I turn in the armhole, what is going to remain is 7.5 inches because I wanted my armhole to come down a little bit. That is why I used that 7.5 inches. So by the time I turn in the armhole, what is going to be there is 8 inches. I don't know if you guys understand what I'm trying to explain here. So after I'm done marking that 7.5 inches, I just blend it to the shoulder before I trim it out, and this is what it's looking like. I also did the same thing to the lining. So after I'm done with that, the next thing to do now is to turn in the neckline. So I'm going to turn in the fabric by make sure that the right side of the lining and right side of the fabric is facing each other before I start pinning it. So I'm first of all going to turn in the neckline first and then the center back. So after I'm done with that, I will now turn in the armhole. So guys, after I'm done stitching it together, I'm going to trim the corner notch the neckline before I turn everything inside. So guys, after I'm not turning inside, the next thing to do now is to also turn in the armor. So to do that, we are going to do it one side at a time. So on the shoulder line, I'm going to fold in my sewing allowance on the lining and the fabric together like you see me do. So put my hand inside, use it to hold and then flip it outside and then arrange it very well. So I'm going to arrange the lining and the fabric together. So after that, I'm going to pin it. After I'm done pinning it, I'm going to take it to the machine to stitch it together. So I'm starting from one side of the shoulder to the arm, because if you do it all together at once, you will not be able to turn it inside. So guys, after I'm done stitching it, I'm going to remove the pin, notch it before I turn it inside. So guys, after I'm done turning it inside, I'm going to do the second side the same way. So I'm folding in my sewing allowance inside like you see me doing so, and then put my hand inside to hold it together, flip it outside and then arrange it very well, pin it together and then take it to the machine to stitch it together. So guys, after I'm also done with it, I'm going to notch it and then turn it inside. So guys, after I'm done turning it outside, this is what it's looking like. So I'm also going to do the other side the same way. And after I'm done with it and ironing, this is what it's looking like. I also went ahead, I stitched down the lining and the fabric at the bottom together. So the next thing to do now is to cut out the gathered fabric. So I'm going to raise my table up by 20 inches. That is the length that we use for the half length. So I'll be using 52 for the full length, and then I had extra 2 inches for the joining of the gathers to the half length and then the hem allowance. And for the width of the fabric, I used 3 yards. I also went ahead, I run a double loop stitches at the top here, which I'm going to use for the gathers. So the next thing to do now is to start pulling the thread. So I'll be pulling both the threads together at once, and you also need to be careful when you're pulling this thread so that the thread will not cut. So if the thread cuts, that means that you have to lose the remaining one and start all over again. What I mean is that you are going to lose the remaining thread that is on the fabric, run another loop stitches again and then start pulling it. So you don't want that, so you need to be careful when you're pulling the thread. Just be gentle with it. So guys, after I'm done with the gathers, I make sure that what I have at the bottom of the half length is the same thing with the gathers fabric. So I'll start pinning both together now. So after I'm done pinning it together, I'm going to take it to the machine to stitch it. So guys, after I'm done stitching it together, this is what it's looking like. So the next thing to do now is to fix the zipper. So to fix it, I need to retake my measurements, and then what remains, that is what I'm going to use for the zipper allowance. So for the bust area, my bust is 36. So after I'm done measuring it, what remain left is 2 inches. So I'm going to divide that 2 inches equally on both sides, which is 1 inches. The same thing to the waistline. My waist is 32. So after I'm done measuring, the what's also left there is 2 inches. So I'm also going to divide it equally on both sides, which is 1 inches on each side. So I'm going to fold my fabric into two and use the pen to hold it together. So after I'm done using the pen to hold it together, so from the half length, I'm going to come down by 4 inches. That is where my zipper is going to stop. So from that 4 inches, I'm going to use 1 inch to stitch it down straight to the hem of the dress. So guys, after I'm done fixing the zipper, this is what it's looking like. I also went ahead, I folded in the hem of the dress. And guys, this is the end of today's tutorial. If you enjoy watching my video and you haven't subscribed to my YouTube channel, please don't forget to click the subscription button down below and also ring the notification bell so wherever I posted a new video you'll be notified. Don't forget to like, comment and share. See you guys in my next video. Bye.